Rise and shine and give God your glory, glory. Rise and shine and give God your glory, glory. Rise and shine and give God your glory, glory, glory to the Lord. What's going on, everybody? I hope you can hear me. Let me know if you haven't, if you can't hear me. Been having some trouble with the audio recently. What's going on? Anthony checking in from Canada. Can you hear me, Anthony? Hopefully you can, because we got a lot of information to go over today, and I want to get through this information quickly, briefly, get a lot of people up to date with the Meek Mill situation, with the Philadelphia. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know you can hear me. This is my wake-up call. This is your wake-up call. We got a lot of information to go over today about the Meek Mill situation, Philadelphia probation and parole. There's a lot of information out there. Just want to get everybody up to date with what's going on currently. This story has been, going on the last couple of weeks. There was a major protest down in Center City, and there's been billboards put up all over the city, and that's where I want to start. So, Meek Mill was sent back to jail after a couple infractions that we're going to get into, but he has his team put up I Stand With Meek Mill posters, flyers, and on the buses lit up, very nice, actually very nicely done, promotion all over the city, on 95, on Schuylkill, down in Center City, and something that's definitely effective marketing and getting the word out there. I Stand With Meek. They've been getting people to sign petitions to send to the governor, and definitely this case is of the most high priority that everyone that works down at 13th and Filbert at the Criminal Justice Center is aware. This case is on everyone's mind that works down there. So just listen, we're just going to start there. So everyone has this case pretty much on their mind. Judge Brinkly, the judge that ordered Meek Mill back to jail, apparently sending Meek back to jail is not out of her character. This is something that she's pretty much not, I don't know about known for, but this isn't really what she did for Meek with the violations is not out of her character, let alone with just Meek, but other offenders as well. So we have about in the last couple years, there's been about 7 people that have sent appeals to the Superior Court, overturning her decision on probation violations, and the Superior Court upheld her 7 times. So the Superior Court's pretty much backing, is not finding that Judge Brinkley is in fault in any of these decisions before. Now I got some statistics to go over from Pennsylvania stats that they put out themselves. The last stats that they really put out were in about 2013, 2014, and I went off an article from BillyPenn.com about 1/3 of the people that are currently locked up. So we got about, say in PA, I think we got the numbers of people locked up are about 50,000, and of those people that are of the 50,000 people that are locked up in the state of Pennsylvania, 1/3 of them are in there on violations of probation or parole. So when people talk about kind of like the cycle, the mass incarceration, a lot of people are coming out and kind of going back in before they can get out of the system. Apparently in Philadelphia, our rate is called recidivism, going back to jail pretty much. Our recidivism is 36% as opposed to the state being 12%. Now in Philly alone, you got about 16,000 people on probation, 16,000 people on parole, and about another 38,000 people approximately on ARD, which is a lower status. So now that's about 38,000. There's about 38,000 probation or parole, and probation in the city of Philadelphia is controlled locally by the county. The county of Philadelphia has approximately 270 something workers. So 270 something workers are supervising about 38,000 people. And the caseloads are about 134. So each probation worker is seeing 134 people per month. That's a lot of people. So you're seeing 134 people per month coming through your doors, and say your work week, you got 5 days a week, so maybe 20 something days, do the math, that you're seeing a lot of people per week. On top of that, as a probation or parole officer, you got all types of paperwork, you got to do notes on everybody. So, probation and parole officers, they're pretty much bogged down. And if you've ever been downtown at Broad and Arch, you've seen the line go around the corner up by the McDonald's. Yeah, set out Dream checking in. So the line, I mean, it's just a long line. It's there every day. They're not the happiest looking people in the world when you're down there. I understand it. So it's not really the easiest situation to deal with. So shout out anyone that's dealing with probation or parole. Wish that on no one. But a lot of people that I know have dealt with that situation, dealing with that situation, trying to get out of that situation, where you have to go down and check in. You got to inform your PO, probation officer, if you get any infraction out of town, because apparently that's a major infraction. So it's better for you to tell your PO than your PO to be notified by an out-of-county law enforcement agency, which apparently was the latest knock against Meek Mill, which was he popped the wheelie and then got cited for it, and then he didn't notify the his probation officer. But the thing about that wheelie that he popped, this is according to theroot.com, he was up there, he was getting ready to film for Jimmy Fallon. So he's filming the next day for Jimmy Fallon. He's up there the day before. He's probably got a hotel room. He's somewhere. They're filming. He's somewhere on some street that's according to his lawyer, Joe Tacopina. I think that's how you say his name. I don't want to mess his name up, but he did a wheelie. The cops at the time didn't give him a citation, so they only gave him a citation when the video of him popping wheelies for maybe a 10-second wheelie, like a little Instagram or Facebook or Boomerang John, went viral. They decided to give him a citation. So that whole situation right there was a little sketchy, and I believe that the charges were dropped. However, Meek was cited, he was arrested, and he did not notify. I mean, this is according to theroot.com and billypenn.com and what I've been seeing. So the point of this morning show is kind of just get everybody up. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of a lot of hearsay out there, but again, just going back to the amount of probation officers to parolees, probationees, they got about 134, so that's why they're getting you on these technical stuff, because they don't really have time to get to know anybody. They can really only judge you by your missteps, by your technical infractions. That would be missed screen, a dirty screen, missed appointment, not checking in, and not doing this or that. So they're really not getting... They really don't have much of an ability to judge your character. They can really only judge your technical infractions as part of the system goes. So there's a checklist, and you don't want to have checks on your checklist. So this whole Meek Mill thing started back in '08. He was 18 years old. He had a drug gun charge. He was in jail for 5 months of this charge, and then they gave him house arrest and 5 years probation. In 2010, he had some violations. From 2010 to 2012, he had a couple violations. He maybe gave a hot urine, and then he was sent back to jail in 2012, and he was sent back to jail from July to December, and from July, so he was in there, and this is where he admitted to being addicted to opioids and having trouble with marijuana. So the judge also at the time sent him back for etiquette training, because apparently he's in the courtroom and maybe he was cussing, I don't know, but judges really don't always send people to etiquette training, and to be honest, I don't even know where they have etiquette training. Like, what's a finishing class? I don't know where they even have that stuff. So this Judge Brinkly said that he was, quote, in order to address his inappropriate social media use and crude language in the courtroom, they sent him to the etiquette class, and then he had to come back after he went to jail for those 6 months. The second time on this same charge, he had to go to court every 3 months, and was given 5 more years of probation. So he started off with 5 years of probation after doing this little thing, and then he had another violation in 2012, and they gave him 5 more years, which is what he's on currently. And social media's definitely gotten him in trouble. It got him in trouble with the viral video. That was social media, jammed him up. And then what he was saying online jammed him up again. So, that's just a lesson for people. Just, you got to be careful what you're putting out on social media. It really can get you in trouble. His lawyer, Joe Tacopina, I don't know. I like that. It's a name. His lawyer is petitioning the court again to have Judge Brinkly step aside and let another judge, unbiased judge, make a ruling on the case. However, that process, that's in the process. That's going to take a while. Their first motion was denied. They pretty much... They put the motion in. The motion went up to the Superior Court. Superior Court sent it right back to the same judge. And of course, the same judge, she's not going to overrule herself. She's being firm, and she's like, that's it. Now this judge, there's a lot of speculation going on about this judge, about how she may not have acted inappropriate. She may have showed up to where Meek Mill was doing voluntary work and supposedly caught him not doing the voluntary work. I don't know. Then she also may have did ask him to sing a Boys to Men song for her, and then make some suggestions on his management. But I don't know how relevant that is. Like I said, Judge Brinkley has a history, and so do other judges, of sending people back to jail for 2 to 4 year sentences, sending people back to jail for 2 to 4 year sentences when they have these violations. So that's pretty harsh. There's some other situations where people were on probation in Philadelphia for maybe marijuana or some nonviolent crime offense, and they didn't even really serve jail time, but since they messed up their violation, the probation or the parole agreement, they were sent to jail on a nonviolent situation. And then again, just going back to statistics about Pennsylvania is at 107% capacity. So these aren't the exact numbers. So again, say there's 50,000 people in PA in jail. We have about 51,000 people in jail. Again, that's not a specific number. I'm just ballparking it there so you can get an idea. Like PA jail is at capacity, over capacity. This is a reason that a lot of people are being sent home early. or whatever the case may be. And then in Philadelphia, about one third of people that are on probation or parole are going to be sent back, and that's a pretty high number. So, we just went over a lot of information. I don't really want to repeat myself, so just run it back again. Just wanted to give people an update on the Meek Mill situation. I wanted to give people an update on the incarceration, the parole, and the probation statistics in Philadelphia, which is pretty high. The case management is pretty high, so it's kind of hard for your caseworker to get to know you more than what they see on paper. Your caseworker has a ton of paperwork, administrative work they got to do, which bogs them down. They're not really able to get to know people. They're not really able to do much therapeutic work besides make the recommendations, and it's really up to the parolee, probationee to follow through with those recommendations. So there's really not a lot of hand-holding with this situation, and if you make a misstep, they're going to jam you up. So that's really it. And shout out everyone that's been protesting. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you're protesting, but you don't protest it for so and so." But a lot of people that were out there protesting, a lot of people that are protesting, have family members that are jammed up in these system situations. So that's pretty much it. This is my wake up call. This is your wake up call. It's time to wake up. Hopefully the situation works out for Meek Mill. He gets himself together, gets his mind right, gets his legal situation right, and he could just be out here, holding Philly down on the hip hop music scene. Shout out everyone that's been showing love to the links and to the shows, and I'm happy you could hear me. We had a show last night with Jim B. Dot. There were the situation with our audio, so you could find Jim B. Dot on Facebook and watch the video there. I reposted the link. Tomorrow night is Friday night. It's our TGIF lineup. We got a nice little TGIF lineup, so check us out. We're going to have a game show again with Urban Seek. We had a pilot episode last week. This episode is going to be amazing. Please check it out. You can play right from your phone. And shout out Reggie B. Reggie B, what's going on? We got a DVD show to do. So just hit me up, and everyone have a great morning, great day. Let's do big things, and do what you gotta do. Make moves. Wake up. It's my wake up call. It's your wake up call. Wake up. Peace.